Yeah, we here, we here, we here, we here, we here, we here, we here. A lot of little connection issues, but we here. Alright, so back at it again. And it's the crazy part. I gotta go on mute for about 2 seconds. But we here though. We back. We back. We back. Um, Today got a couple of little, you know, videos to check out and the article to check out it in the description for those that come in, and we'll have a little discussion, which everybody know the you know tricks of the trade and all that when it comes to being married, single, all this. What's going on again, man? I got to check out what's going on with your channel, man, because I haven't been seeing or getting any notifications unless you just ain't been dropping them lately. But yeah, man, we here. We back at it again. Yesterday was pretty good. Thought I'd stick to that same subject and topic around being married. But gonna go on mute for 1 second. Yeah, back at it. Yeah, but yesterday was pretty good. So like I said, I'm back at it again with another one. But just talking about married, single life. Hey, it's up to the person, man. Cause hey, I've always said it. Marriage ain't for everybody. Some people they can get married, no problem, never have any issues down the line. But, people change over time, so you have different, feelings, different mood swings, all that about yourself. Then you have the people who are single and just like the single life. They ain't trying to, get married. They trying to, just stay to themselves. Hey, they have their little friends they kick it with, and that's all it is. You know, it's a headache for most. So when it come down to it, you'll look at a situation and, more or less looking into the point where, why even bother? You know, the headache. A woman think it's a headache. Men think it's a headache. Yeah, a little moving around. But basically, you have situations where the women think it's a headache to have a full time boyfriend, possibly married, same as going into account with the men and stuff, and they have their degrees. So they say, well, as it boils down, I don't know what just happened there. Sorry, I have got a little stuff going on with my phone. But basically, when it boils down to it, you have a degree where most of these men say, "Man, it ain't all right. I don't want to have a relationship like this. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to deal with women, you know, to a degree in a relationship because it always goes south." I gave that talk yesterday about a guy I knew. Guy's quite short, and when it come down to it, it's a lot of people will sit here and far as the women will say that there's no good men out here. There's a lot of good men out here, just the men you're not choosing. And to a degree, you have men say the same thing. There's no good women out here. But once again, it goes back to the same thing. It's the women you're choosing. You know, everybody wants the 10. Everybody can't have the 10. Every woman wants the man with money. Every woman can't have the man with money. So we go through these both in these scenarios. It gets to a degree. You would have, once again, I'm getting back to this again, society standards will push a lot of people into getting into a relationship. Society standards will push a lot of people in getting into a relationship for the simple fact is they truly, truly, truly want a relationship with somebody, but society is telling them you have to find a person with money. You have to have a person with looks. Nowadays, majority of relationships are started by social media, views. You look good together with somebody, you're going into it as normally as people talk about marriage and relationship as a business. When it comes down to it, you're treating your marriage like a business. You're going in, you're making sure, you got things in order, just as writing a business plan, writing a proposal. Most people have that in their head of a proposal for their relationship, far as we need to have the look. We need to have the assets as far as the money to portray this look. We need to, so-called, as people say, keep up with the Joneses to make our situation look so, you know, glamorous that people want to be in. Even to the point of being married, they take that next step in being married only because, once again, for the vanity. 5, 10 years later, you don't really like that person. There's no need to stand with that person. There's no need of, being married, full time, committed, because for one, you and that person are not that cool with each other. You and that person are not to a point to where, you're in good standing. So why? You know, you have a point to where, this person is this person is that. It's not a reflection of you. You're looking at the situation being that, hey, I'm married, I like it. Hey, I don't like marriage, so I go ahead and leave. You know, this wasn't real love anyway. This was mainly for benefits. And that's another reason why a lot of people get married for the benefits. You know, um, the article I put in at the beginning, it talks about being, single versus married, more income. You know, a single person making $90,000, is it the same as a married person making a married couple making 90,000? The money's the same, but the habits and everything else are different. You know, you share the chores, you share the bills, you can share plenty of things. But when you're single, all that pretty much falls on you. You know, you're the one that has to access everything. You're, hey, if a water, let's say the sink messes up, as a man, if he have the option to fix it, he'll fix it. If not, he'll go get a plumber. Same thing with a woman. She's single. If she got the option to fix it, she'll fix it. If not, she go get a plumber. Same thing in a marriage, but the point of it is reference. 9 times out of 10, that husband is going to take care of that expense unless the wife just calls someone because she knows that her husband is not, mechanically inclined to that. And typically, we know to call the plumber. But the point of it is, it takes a little stress off one of the parties so they can get things done. You know, they have these things as gender roles. There's no gender roles when you're single. When you're single, you're over everything. Especially as a man. I seen this clip and I was going to put it in the description so people can look at it. And it was quite funny to me by looking at the video. It talked about a independent woman, and the guy broke it down. He said, as an independent woman, there's strength in that. That independent woman, she pays her own bills. She, cooks and provides for herself. She doing it all on her own. And then there was a caveat to that. What about the independent man? What's going on, Sassy? What about the independent man? There's a such thing as an independent man now, the same as the woman. That independent man, he pays his bills, he cook, he clean, he do all the stuff just like the independent woman does. And I was laughing, and he was, basically explaining, like, hey, why is it such thing as an independent woman? Isn't there such thing as an independent man? He's like, that sounds foolish to call out a man as being the independent man. In both cases, the woman has to provide for herself until she gets a man. A man has to provide for himself until he gets a woman. So why are we having this back and forth conflict? A woman has to be stronger. You have no choice to be stronger because no one's there with you. Just like a man, he has no choice to, not cook and wash the dishes or clean for himself because he don't have a woman. That's why I say when we talk about gender roles, the gender roles get kind of pushed and played to the side in certain relationships. Because, hey, prime example, I cook and clean in my household. I don't cook as much, but to a degree, I still cook. I clean. I might don't clean as much because I'm doing more work, but I clean. And I still cut the grass. Now I don't cut the grass. I pay for it. I don't have time. I got the money, so I pay for it. And when it comes down to the situation, that's what it is. Gender roles are very big to certain people or some people, but to a degree, the roles are broken. Normally you can live off of one income. Now it takes two. Back in the day, it was nothing for a man to make a woman a housewife because things were relatively reasonable to where you can live off of one income. If you look at the numbers nowadays, look at the statistics. I've seen several videos of people, this woman and her husband, they making about $90,000. She said this is the most money they made ever in their entire life. But upon buying that house a couple years ago, they pretty much getting into a point where they're pretty much broke now, living paycheck to paycheck. You went from both you guys making about $40,000 to making $50,000 to first 40,000 together, now 50 all the way up to 90, and you're still living paycheck to paycheck. But then what's the cause of that? Inflation. Everything around you. They bought a house. They got expenses. Next couple of years it might ease out for a little bit for them, but then everything else around them is costly. Prime example. You got people that bought their houses in the 70s. Back then, the mortgage on those properties, unless they refinance it, you're looking at about $500 a month. $500 a month. But the thing of it is, insurance is increased. Even though you might say, well, I bought this house and without the insurance and the taxes, I was paying $320 a month. Add the insurance and taxes, that says at $500. Just because that mortgage is still going to be $320 a month, insurance and taxes growing up. So now that same home might be like $900. You're paying almost $580 just in taxes and insurance alone. But if we keep our pay the same, can we stay in that house for longevity? Eventually have to sell. You know, that's why we should, keep up with inflation. Start, upping your salary. Start getting jobs that pay more. You know, referring back to the marriage and things of that nature. As a married couple, you should be looking to increase your salary. As a single man, as a single woman, taking on a second job to help you with these bills. A lot of people get married just to, stay off the poverty line. You know, the crazy part is a lot of people getting married trying to, stay above water. That's the thing. What's going on? Tamika, Nino, hands in the dirt. What's going on, y'all? I mean, a lot of people get married just to stay off the poverty line. You know, Majority of the time, as a single man, you go from eating noodles to, getting married to eating spaghetti with some meat in there. Might get some meatballs. Hey, might be that bad. Might have to put some hot dogs in that spaghetti, but it's meat. But there's no big thing, to the point where you're in a situation to where you live high on the hog when you're married. So, not saying that marriage is way better far as your money, because combining incomes it do work for a person. But like I said, on average, if you have a person making 50,000 compared to two people putting their money together getting 100,000, that's a lot of money. But then you have to understand there's still a lot of debt that comes with that due to the fact that that married couple, they're going to spend more, they're going to do more, they're going to want more. You know, tend to be when you're single, you kind of look over your finances knowing that you don't have nobody really to help you. You got family members and stuff that'll come out, but overall, you're pretty much doing it on your own. You got underrated in the chat. What's going on, underrated? Young Riaz. And when it gets to a point, hey, you have to, be able to budget your money properly. A lot of times people look at, well, married couples make more. Yes, but married couples also spend more. Single people know that there's nobody really coming to save you. Yes, you can borrow money from your uncle, your mom, dad, family, whoever. Some people, they can't borrow money from anybody. That's where payday loans get into play. That's when, getting these apps, Dave, I believe, that gives you advance off your check. All these different Keisha, what's going on, that can, pretty much put you in a situation to where, you know, hey, it's not even adding up. There are some people live living paycheck to paycheck, married 15 years, they spend too much. You know, you got people that are single, budget their money and they're still on the poverty line because why? It's not that they spend too much, they don't make enough. Even to the point of people making enough of married, making more money, single, struggling. It all depends on the person. Even in the marriage situation, it depends on your marriage, the way you pretty much gotta go to the bank. Pretty much the way the marriage is structured on, how you are going to be able to survive. A lot of people tend to, think that, being married, having both of those incomes is going to garner me so much money to where I'm going to be protected from poverty. You know, kids cost. That's another thing. You have a situation where you're married, kids cost. Situation where you're single, kids cost. The average person getting into, let's say, a marriage and have 2.5 kids with a picket fence in the house, you're if you don't really have a budget, you dropping it down to the very bare minimum. All right, there, hands. There you go. But you dropping it down to the pretty much. Did it come through? Oh, I don't think it went in. There you go. All right, there you go. Yeah, but you dropping pretty much down to the bare minimum. You know, the cost of average hands in the dirt.
What's going on, man? I heard you talking that talk this morning. I said, man, everything that you said, boy, I've witnessed. Uh, some of it I have experienced, uh, especially, I guess it's everywhere, but in Atlanta, um, you do see a lot of couples that, you know, the marriage is definitely a business decision. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely that. I've seen that even with some of my friends. They live like, this lavish life, and they got the bread and all that, but there was never a foundation. So when the new wore off, everything wore off. You know what I mean? These were the marriages that we were looking at, like, man, we want to be like that couple. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, you're like, nah, I don't want to be like that couple, because there was never a foundation in it, man. And to your point about independent, this is something that like I really that irritates me. And I told my daughters, don't ever, I don't ever want to hear you say I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't ever want to hear that. You're not a strong, independent woman. You're an adult doing what you're supposed to do. You're a responsible adult, is what you are. If you pay your own bills and this and that, you're a responsible adult, is what you are. I'm saying I ain't never. I asked my daughters. I was like, "Have you ever heard a man say I'm a strong, independent man?" And they were like, "No, I never heard that." Okay, so you're not strong. You're a responsible adult. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You don't get a reward for being a responsible adult.
Yeah, that's what mainly what it is you know, you want a pat on the back. Yeah, I mean, everybody has to do their part. When you become an adult, you got to do your part.
You're doing what I raised you to do. You know what I'm saying? To be responsible for yourself. And that's why I think all parents, well, most parents, you're raising your child, whether it's male or female, to be responsible enough to take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? If you're not here to help them, if I die and I'm gone today, I feel rested and assured that my children will be able to take care of themselves.
Oh my bad. What's going on, Nino?
Hey man, what's going on? Man, I had to get up here with the Atlanta boys. Y'all cooking this morning. This is a really good topic, man. These are the things we need to talk about, having your faculties in order, before anything, because, everybody hollering they want to get married, uh, and that they don't want the woman to work, the wife to work, but behind the scenes, we know most of these dudes complaining that she's spending too much. She not doing nothing. She's sitting her lazy ass at home, and she
Yeah,
ain't, even cooking and cleaning ain't enough. I'm sorry, it
right,
ain't enough in some
right,
places, in some instances. And if you a dude that know you have to live happily below your means, you don't make no more than 50,000 a year.
right,
That's nothing, especially if she have a expensive appetite. Then on top of that, you got to think about what she said about the kids. The kids, they have projects that need to be, paid for in school. Boy, he has football practice. You know that his shoes cost a whole lot of money.
right,
Starting at 11 or 12 years old. You know,
right.
cleats, football uniforms. All of that.
Well, you got to tell me. I know. Yeah, it's a lot. But one thing that I've experienced in my life is when she was talking about like a single person making 90,000. and then a married person making 90,000. The advantage does, even though it's two people, the advantage still goes to the married people that's making 90,000. And because when I was working, and I was making upwards of 100, I was making six figures. When I was single, man, that thing hurt because you don't have any write off. The only write off that I had was my house. You know what I'm saying? That's the only write off that I had. But when you're a married couple, you got more write offs with that same 90,000, so you'll see more of your money. But when you're single, it's different. You're not gonna see all that money.
But,
You
but
just
you know what though, bro? You know what though? The beauty of it is the fact that you are a black man and able to obtain a home. And if you're in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? I
oh
think
yeah,
we all have been there, because I used to live in Atlanta too, but on the outskirts, like Buford by the
yeah,
Mall of Georgia, I had a house up there,
yeah,
you know, and I was able to maintain having a nice house
yeah.
as a single slash divorced man,
Right,
from along, it was pretty decent, but
yeah,
your taste gets expensive even as a single man. It
yes,
really does because you become selfish. You'd be like, damn, I ain't got nobody to take care of. Especially if you don't have kids, your
right.
whole closet gonna be polo. Real
yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah. But when you bring kids into the marriage, man, everything changes. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? As far as the expense, yeah, it's gonna be hard. If you got a stay at home mom, but it's gonna be hard if you're a stay at home mom and say if the dude making 65, 75,000, and he got two kids. It's still hard because I can remember
Even
when
as a blended family.
right because the child care is so expensive. Sometimes it seems like it's even better if one person stays home because childcare is so expensive. I can remember when my kids, and this was a long time ago, my last two when they were in school, and but they had to go to the after school care and all like that before I went to pick them up. I was
Yeah.
paying $930 a month. You know what I'm saying for childcare.
And you know what, bro? The crazy part in Georgia, childcare is super duper high, especially for single mothers and even for married couples. They ain't
Right?
giving you shit in Georgia. Now you
No,
out here in California, they make sure because they want to see you succeed, even if you're a single father or a single mother or a married couple, because they want to keep you in school. They want to keep you, to where you already making over 150,000.
right.
They do have programs that will, help you out. But in Georgia, you ain't gonna get that. Now, say for instance, if you're a woman, you'll get anything at times in Georgia if you got more than one or two kids. Now, if you're out here in California and you're a single man, no, well, I put it this way: if you're a single man in Georgia, you ain't getting nothing, even with a clean record, no criminal record,
Right.
and you're a single father. You know what I'm saying? They figure you're a man, so you should be able to handle that. No
Right.
matter if you're a single father with many kids. But out here, they will help you as a
Oh,
single father.
wow.
Yeah.
Georgia. Oh, yeah, you ain't getting nothing out here, bro. Single, married. All they want
For
is at
that,
the
I
end of the
mean,
week, you better have that check.
yep. Because even with me, I have twins, so everything double. My
Right.
wife, that was one of the biggest things when before we got married. We were having conversation about having kids. She really didn't want no kids because
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I did so much. I had to pay for daycare, all this. It started getting hectic. I had to let my grandmother watch my kids just to save some money from daycare, but I still had to give her something, even though she family and she'll
Right.
do it, but still it's some type of consideration. So,
Right.
understand. But she went through so much with that. She didn't even want kids. And I told her, I said, well, I don't think me and you got a future. Like she was like, do I want to risk leaving a good man just because I didn't want to have kids? Because the whole stress of all that. And like I explained to her, I was like, well, you won't be doing it on your own. And that was a clicking moment for her to,
Right.
understand this guy's gonna stay here long term. He's talking
Right.
about marriage, all that. And a lot of women they go through that process. They don't like it's a thing. You've been indoctrinated to say, man, if you got a child, you're gonna have to take care of that child on your own. That man ain't gonna help with the pampers, that man ain't gonna help with nothing. Like this is all on you. On average, most guys don't want to do none of that support. So
Well,
it comes with a lot.
I disagree with that. I you know, are there some deadbeat dads? Yeah, there are definitely some deadbeat dads. But
Yeah.
I witnessed fathers trying to be in their child's life, and I witnessed the mothers doing everything in their ability to keep the man out of the child's life.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I witnessed that with friends of mine that stand up dudes. You know what I mean? That want to take care of their kids, but it was always some kind of drama. It was always some kind of foolishness. When it came to them trying to take care of their children. You know what I'm saying?
Let,
Especially
let
trying
me,
to spend time with them. All the mama wanted was to check, but he wanted to spend time with his children. It was always, it was always something. It's
yeah, but
always
let me get in on that. But and I also want to respond to something you said earlier about your parents teaching you how to, properly do something. But to me, I think from the 70s all the way to the mid 90s, it's been a situation where it's been do as I say or do what I did because my mother and my father did it. So of course, in the black family, we're gonna have those issues where uh you have the scorned woman and she tell the child, especially boys, oh, he ain't no good. You look like your daddy. You hear that. So you'll find that type of thing that's an ongoing thing, that's personal. When if you're separated, it should be just strictly about the kids. It did not work. Turn the page and go. You get what
right,
I'm saying? So that's the problem with black men and black women. We don't know how to co-parent properly without throwing jabs at each other when we doing visits between the kids and sharing custody. Now I don't have kids, but I've seen it time and time again. I've taken care of a lot of kids because of my brothers and sisters. You know,
right.
and some of the family in my family, some of the men somehow everything works properly, biologically, but it skips generations where some of the men in our family don't are not able to have kids.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like that. I don't know why. And that even probably happened with me too. But
Right.
I know how to properly, take care of a child. I've been married, uh, but my wife didn't have kids.
Right.
Uh, I didn't have kids, but just looking at the things that friends of mine went through, because growing up, as soon as I graduated high school, shit, I went straight to college. Friends of mine, they were having kids when they was in high school,
Right.
and it aged them very much so, or at least grew them up. But then again, just like she said, you do have some dudes until it becomes a grown man's responsibility. They will be like, damn, I don't want to do all this. They see
Right.
the Pampers cost. I've seen my homeboy literally punch his whole fist through the wall
Yeah.
because of the bills, because of the money. I've
Right.
seen dudes that did some coward stuff. They left the home and went back home to stay in their mama basement, because they didn't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to pay.
Yeah. That stress of
Mm.
that pressure. But hey, when you decide to lay down with somebody, a man or a woman, that's why I don't want to hear like what she was saying. Um, you know, a lot of people experiences are the people that they chose. So if you chose a knucklehead, you knew he was a knucklehead. You already knew it, but he was cute and all the other girls liked him, or she was pretty and all the fellas liked her, and blah blah blah. But she didn't have nothing on the inside, or he didn't have anything on the inside, and you laid down and had a baby with this fool, and now all men are bad. Now all women are bad. No, not all men are bad. Not all women are bad. It's just the ones that you chose.
Yeah. We have this issue all the time. I hear so many women talking about there's no good men. I gave a prime example the other day about my friend who's 4'11". This is a good man. The girl
Yeah,
who he dealt with now, she said in other circumstances she would have never dealt with him. I want to tell so bad why she messed with this guy, but it's crazy in private. But at the same time though, hey,
yeah,
she messed with the guy nevertheless. And when it came down to that point, she was like, "Damn, he's a good man," and she actually stayed with him. She told me, she was like, "Man, your friend's a great guy. He's a great guy." She said, "I would have never gave him the time of the day, but situations." And she stayed with the guy. I mean, she stayed with him, and they in a relationship now. She was a little healthy aside. She wasn't big, but a little healthy. And I told him when I used to, mess with women that were a little bigger, I said, man, if a woman big and she got everything, oh, she can lose that weight. We gonna work out together. I'm gonna put you on this
Yeah.
treadmill. We gonna do something together, and I'm gonna get that weight off you. And
yeah.
that's what he
You
did.
know,
And she dropped 60 pounds, totally different now.
you know
Right.
what? And
Right.
that's the key element of wanting something together, wanting the same things. Because sometimes we could get together and we're not aligned to the point to where we're not understanding that we don't want the same thing because we're not on the same page. Now, just like you said, you have a lot of women that are real picky like that, and it's to the point to where they follow the guidelines of he need to be 6 feet, he need to be this, he need to be that, you know, the
Yeah.
model type, you know.
What I always say, that society standards. Society tell us how we need to pick people, how we need to look at people. Until we get out of that mindset, that's the only way we're gonna keep living.
Well,
Yeah, I look at the industry. I call it industry standards.
right.
Industry because people are
Well,
so industry today.
right. Yeah. So in Atlanta, um, I hear, I look online, I hear all these people making these videos. Stay out of Atlanta. Don't. There's no good men in Atlanta. Blah blah blah. Woo de woo de woo. And I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of friends. That are good men in Atlanta. And the problem is that the problem is not there's not any good men in Atlanta. It's just the men that you want don't want you. That's the problem.
Ooh, bro, that is a
100.
look, bro. Look, that is so. Look, I'm so glad that brothers up here that live in Atlanta, that's from Atlanta, that witnessed Atlanta. Because we got a lot of clowns out here that talk very bad about Atlanta, and they don't
Yeah.
understand that certain things in Atlanta was brought to Atlanta because Atlanta
Yes.
was more of a Bible Belt type state. I mean, well, Georgia was a Bible Belt type state, and a lot of people came there, which I blame a lot of people who are natives for letting them come there and sabotage the city. You're saying, all
Yeah.
kind of stuff that happens, and I will be doing a documentary on that too. Will a real Atlanta please stand up?
I'm trying to tell you.
Because it's ridiculous. You get all this stuff. They talk about
Yeah.
Atlanta men being gay. That's a lie. Because you know
Yeah.
what? That shit only happens on Cheshire Bridge Road, a certain part
And
of town where the rich gay men are.
Midtown, yeah, Midtown, somewhere like that.
Yeah,
Because I told somebody, I was
Piedmont
like,
Park,
listen,
all that shit.
yeah, they don't take OP my part. But listen, I tell people, all these people that come to Atlanta, they say all they see is gay men. I'm like, you got to be where they are, because I don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where are you going? Where are you?
Yeah,
What's going
bro.
on? You going to somewhere where that community, that's where they dwell. That's got to be where you are. Do you see people all over the city? Yeah, you see people, but not the way these people are talking. I'm like, I've never seen that because I don't go to those
Let me tell
places.
you. Let me tell you what they're doing. They're hanging out in industry standards places where both the superstars, rap people, the R&B artists,
Yeah,
athletes, and all
yeah,
those same people hanging on spots because they have the people that are they dress people, they makeup people,
yeah.
and they hang out like that. So that's I do believe that it is disrespectful for men to come down from different
You're chopping
places
up a little bit,
who are
Nino.
afraid to be who they are. Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me
can hear
now?
you.
Now, yeah, you good now.
Uh, Okay, my bad. And I do believe that it's disrespectful for men who can't be themselves to come to Atlanta from their little small towns and bring that on, and half of them are married, half of them are just regular dudes. But they figure, okay,
Yeah.
well, let me go to Atlanta. I could do this, I could do that. The
Right.
swinging riches, the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
DL parties, all of that,
Yeah. 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 But
and
yeah,
that's what make it bad.
it's a lot of good men in Atlanta. It's a lot of beautiful women in Atlanta. Atlanta is, boy, it's overloaded with beautiful women. You know what I mean? It's everywhere you go, it's beautiful, successful women in Atlanta. But a part of the problem is, I know I'm finna get, I know they finna yell at me, but part of the problem, one of my friends told me a long time ago, and this is one of my partners. All the women used to love him, and we was at a party, and I was like, man, good God, I might look at all these beautiful girls in here. I said, whoo, there's a lot of women in here. He said, man, yeah, it is, Playboy. He said, but you got to remember one thing. And I said, what's that? He said, half of them crazy.
Look, and you got to have a certain kind of money. You ever seen the chick, man, that I don't know what side of town you live on, but no matter where you are in Atlanta, if you get that chick that once she done got her hair done, she done got them lashes on her eyebrows.
Yeah,
It's the attitude. You
funky.
supposed to open up the door for me.
Right.
You
Yeah,
supposed to do this. And
yeah,
then if you say hello, they thinking that you
right.
automatically want sex.
Yeah. But those be the broke ones.
That's true. That's true.
Those be the broke ones.
Uneducated and broke.
Yeah, they just get brand new because they got their hair done. Like the women here, it's a lot of women with bread here, man. The ones they just used to their money. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dated women here in Atlanta that they were just used to them. They grew up. Some of them grew up with money, so it didn't make them or change them. They just was, what I'm saying, crazy just because. Yeah, I understand what you're
Yeah, and a
saying.
lot of
I
a
have,
lot of 'em a lot of them are independent women as well, and I'm talking like super independent to where even if they make over 100,000, they still need a man that
but
makes even more because of their taste.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
man.
lifestyle.
I dated AKA, and well, I don't went through all the alphabet deltas, but I dated this girl. She was AKA. She make, man, buku money. She probably make $250,000. Stay in a big old house out here in Powder Spring. Well, she had a daughter. Her daughter's about to graduate high school back then. So
Damn, aka.
daughter, yeah, I don't went through them, but so um, I go out to her house. She got this big old house. It's just her and her daughter. Blah blah blah. And she had been married before, but it was like not long. I don't think she made it a year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always, I got a lot of intrigue, man. I want to know why. Like, what's going on? So she was really, really nice, girl. She was cool. And I looked at her lawn. I used to have a lawn care business that I did on the side. And I was like, who's doing your yard? She's like, well, the guy had blah blah blah. Would you the woo? I said, well, I'll slide through and take care of it for you. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no issue. Man, I come over there with my equipment, and I can see why the guy, her lawn care guy, she don't know nothing about no lawns, but she out there trying to bogart and try to tell you how to do what. And I can see why she got no damn money. Man. I'm like, lady, yeah, you couldn't tell her nothing, man. But she was, I mean, other than that, she was cool, man. Man, her was like really, really, really cool. And she used to tell me about all her girlfriends. They was doctors and lawyers. And she was like, ain't none of them got no man. I was like, if they act anything like you, hell, I see why. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, a
I
lot of them.
wonder why.
Look, a lot of them are that way, and I have a lot of homegirls who are AKAs because I'm an alpha.
Yeah.
So I do, yeah, I wouldn't date one. I wouldn't, you know. I'm more of a dude that will, kind of like go toward the Delta, you know.
Yeah, I dated
Delta's a little
one.
bit more the down to earth
Yeah,
chick.
yeah, I dated one. She was good people,
you
man.
know,
Real good. Yeah. Yeah, she was good people.
yeah,
In fact, my daughter just crossed over earlier this year. I think it was this year. She's a Delta. I was talking to one of her sorors at
oh,
the
that's what's
airport.
up, bro.
Yeah, I was talking to, one of her sorors at the airport. I was like, yeah, my daughter was one of y'all. It was like some older ladies. They were like some older Deltas. And she was like, for real, blah, blah, blah. She was just chopping up with me real cool, man. Somebody got
I'm glad
AKA.
that you put your daughter. Look, I'm glad that you put your daughter in line to be mentored by an older Delta. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that because these girls today, man, they different.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they totally different. When I tell you different, it's right now it's about how big the bag is and overnight rappers, overnight success rappers
And,
making it hard for real men out here.
well, they want all these women. Everybody want the same man. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't have the same man. Like it's only a small percentage of men that make six figures, and it's only a small percentage of men that make six figures that are black. And it's just even smaller. It's even a smaller number of black men that make six figures that's over 6 feet tall. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And it's
At
even
least
fewer. It's
at
even
least
fewer.
2%.
Yeah, it's even fewer that's over 6 feet tall, dark black, dark and handsome. You know what I'm saying? So your
Yep.
numbers get really really slim, and these women are fighting for the
I
same
say this.
men. And
Hey,
they
I
having
say this.
babies by the same men. They having babies by the same men.
Hmm.
Damn, that's messed up. He's sitting up there with
Yeah, that's the
a
truth
mother
though.
load full of bunnies that a mother load full of bunnies and multiplying.
Right, they're having
Yeah.
babies by the same men. You know, they chasing the same man, having babies by the same man. There's a lot of guys out here don't have children, man. Never been married, don't have kids. But
Yep.
you know, Bunquisha, she got three
When they
baby
do, when
daddies.
they do, they make the foolish decision.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
even I say that too. What, go ahead.
I said, you know, and that's a fact. They having babies by the same men, the same circle, and that's why a lot of these women have, you know, 3 or 4 baby daddies, the same guy. He having babies by Keisha, Wanda, Valerie, and but you know, men ain't no good. Which it is some men that ain't no good, but there's some women that ain't no good also. You know what I'm saying? You just got to make better choices. I can see if you make
Yeah.
you
Look,
make a mistake, and you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't even call it a mistake because you made a decision. You're an adult, but you make a mistake. So I'm not going down that road no more. I'm finna get myself together. I ain't dealing with these type of dudes. But you keep going back and y'all dealing with the same type of dudes or a guy, you keep dealing with the same type of women, you're gonna get the same type of results.
let's say this. Now, the names you mentioned, Valerie and Wanda, those are
Yeah.
wife names. Keisha, they done demolished Keisha.
Hey man,
Yeah.
you know, normally I would say Bumquisha, you know what I mean, but I'm trying to be politically correct because I grew up on the west side of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Allen Temple, man.
What?
I know all the ratchet. Yeah, I'm from the
Man, let me
temp.
tell you something, bro. It is wonderful to run into a brother who's a native from Allen Temple. I know people all around there. I didn't grow up in the projects, but I grew. My
Yeah,
cousin lived in the project. He lived in Bourne
yeah,
Homes.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so I know about Bankhead Courts. I grew up
yeah.
with Fat Steve, Kennard, all the dope boys
Oh,
over there.
Fat Steve. I went to school with Fat Steve. Fat Steve was in my
Yeah.
best friend homeroom. Yeah, man. And when I
He- he-
came home and they told me Fat Steve was the man, I was like, man, get out of here, man. Because I knew Fat Steve to be a
Look, I
jokester.
grew up. Yeah.
I knew him to be a
Yeah.
jokester, clown, and
When you
always.
Fat Steve. Oh, damn, I'm echoing. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I'm delaying.
You
Yeah,
probably
Fat
got a delay.
Steve.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Fat Steve, man, it was a cool ass dude. I don't know what he's
Yeah,
like now, but I'm still friends with Kennard, his brother.
yeah.
And I grew up like even with Shawty Low and all them too. So I
I
know
know.
them. My mom is friends
I,
with his.
all of them went to Doug, man. I went to Frederick Douglass High School. All of them went to Doug.
Okay, this is her. So you know Patrice Butler.
Yes,
Okay, I
I
know
know
all
all
them.
of them.
Patrice Butler.
I know. Listen, man. All them folks that stayed in Boyle Home, going all the way down to Dixie Hill and all through there, most of them went to Doug. You know, you had some of them went to West Ford, and then you go over to Bankhead Court, all those people went to Harper. You know what I'm saying? So you crossed over
Yeah, he did.
285. Yeah, all those people went to Harper. Now, where I grew up
Yeah, my
before
grandma.
I moved out, go ahead.
My grandma lived in Lincoln Homes right there off of Jackson Parkway, which turns into South Cobb.
Yeah.
were all the back then with a that used to be like a for the elite of black folks who lived in the nice homes. You
Yeah,
know,
man. I got robbed back there off of Jackson Parkway.
well, who you telling? You look, you know not to be off no Jackson Parkway. The English Avenue dudes catch you over there in the
Yeah,
Etheridge Court, dude.
yeah, Brown Town
Them
all up through
motherfuckers were woo.
there.
It's no joke, man. Look, see, a lot of people don't know this about Nino. See, because they see me just as a dude that's just straight and narrow. But when people did see me in the hood, they say, "Oh, don't fuck with him, man. He
Yeah,
went to he went to school. He went to college. One of them dudes like
yeah,
that. Like I'm
yeah,
friends
yeah.
with Van Gaither and Lisa Gaither. You know them?
I got to see their face, man. I got to see their face.
Yeah,
I got
Van
to see.
Gaither. Prince Lee is my first cousin. You know Prince Lee?
Mm-mm. A lot of these people I
Okay,
have to see their
Prince
face.
Lee. You know the populars though. Well, Prince Lee was popular.
Well, depending on when he came out, when he went there. I'm old head, man. I
Oh,
came
okay.
out in '85. I came out in
Oh yeah, you
'85.
you you you. you- So you went to school with Stacy Chapman.
Stacey Chapman is my good friend, bro. Stacey Chapman was my good friend. She stayed in Bowen Homes.
Yeah, yeah. Me and her sister are good friends. So Stacy's way
Yeah,
older than us.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Stacey graduated. Me and Stacey graduated together.
yeah. So you know the twins, Jody and
Jody and Tracy Chestnut.
yeah, yeah.
I used to try to holler at one of them, and I used to try to holler at Stacey. But I was out there.
You remember the GA Rockers?
G.A. Rockers.
Yeah, Curtis Coachman.
G.A.
Well,
Rockers.
yeah, they probably were like class of '88, and
Oh,
then yeah, they way back. But
yeah.
the GA Rockers was a popular group when they used to have the road shows in Atlanta. And that's
Did
how they became popular. That's when the scene of music started to really pop for black people in Atlanta. Kilo and all them. I know Kilo.
yeah, I'm Killer. He from Bowen Homes. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, most people went to. I went to school with them. I went to school with them lots. Um, the Underwoods.
I know the Underwoods. I know
Yeah,
the Lawsons too. The goddamn 17s, all of them.
yeah, it's a whole bunch of them.
Woo! Man, let me tell you about the 17s. The 17s, each of their kids had 17 kids.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy, man. But yeah, man, yeah, I went to Doug, man. I'm from Allen Temple, bro. And so I tell people when I was growing up, man, like in my classes, the women have always outnumbered the men. You know what I'm saying? When I was in school, all my classes, it might be like 6, 7, 8 guys and 20 some girls. You know what I'm saying? In the class, or 18, 19 girls. They've always outnumbered. So it's always been way more women in my city than men. You know what I mean? So the men, I think, had an advantage because it was so many women to a man per man.
Yeah, because everybody had left school to sell dope. But
Yeah,
I put it this way: the, I know dudes from West Fulton. I know dudes I got family members that graduated from West Fulton and Archer.
yeah. I remember Archer.
I
That's what.
graduated from Northside High School Performing Arts.
So you graduated with my friend Tim Burke. You graduated with Tim, Sabrina Raindrop. Who else used to go to that school? What year you come out?
Woo, man! In the '90s though, not no
Oh,
'80s something.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It just hung around a whole bunch of folks.
Okay, because Tim, he graduated with he was in school with Jasmine Guy. Um,
Oh yeah, okay. See,
uh,
Jasmine, she had came she had, her Jasmine Guy's father was my principal.
okay.
And a dude, I tell you, a dude that went to school with me that came out a little bit probably before I did, and
Mm,
that's the little short dude who he was very popular. He danced for Janet Jackson, Travis Payne.
that name sounds.
Everybody know him.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about small world. Y'all talking about
You know,
Jasmine
right?
Guy? My brother father used to be security for Jasmine Guy. My older
Oh, what?
brother, yeah, his dad was security for her.
Yeah, the lady Proctor, what's her name? Angelique Proctor. She's on, she's on the news. She
Yeah,
with him. Um, who else? Oh, Isaac Hayes' daughters. I met them at a football game, hanging out with them. They went to Northside too. Melanie Hayes.
man. I
Yeah,
look, Andre 3000 them. They was over there when I was there. They
yeah.
but they left and went back to the east side to Tri Cities and got discovered. But they everybody, Northside High School was not a school that everybody could get in.
No,
You could not get in. And trust me, the white folks that hung around you, if you were poor, they didn't know you were poor
right,
because they looked at you for your talent. Now, I just so happened to grow up pretty nice,
right.
and like I do you know right there where Bankhead and where Bowen Homes at, right where Toe Jam Studios used to be,
Yeah,
right there where that 7-Eleven used to be, right there.
yeah,
Go down that street, you'll see all them nice homes down through that way.
yeah.
I went to school with the Franklins, all the Franklins, Ray Franklin, um, Courtney Franklin. You know Courtney, you probably know Courtney,
The name
crazy
sounds
ass Courtney.
big. I ain't
Yeah,
sure.
but you probably went to school with their brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah, but them boys, man, they all came from nice homes, but they used to hang in the projects. But some of them, they got strung out on them drugs.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
That was a big thing, man. When I came home, a lot of people
Yeah.
strung out. And it just threw me off because I was in the military. I was overseas, and when I came home, this crack and all this was out, and I was trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Crazy,
You know,
man.
Stacy Chapman is a preacher, some kind of theologian scholar.
Oh, is she? I think I just saw her back in
Yeah,
2015. We
Tracy
had our class. We had our. You said Tracy Chapman
class reunion.
or Stacy
Yeah,
Chapman?
Tracy Chapman, dark skin Stacy Chapman. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. I've been saying, I don't know, it's Tracy. Yeah, I think I saw her back in 2015 at our class reunion. Yeah, like she stayed in the Bowen Home. Like when you came in off of Bankhead and you came into Bowen Home, she was on that front street. I should go over there and try to
Yeah, she was
code
on Walden.
her. I used to go
Yeah,
over there and
right there
try
on
to.
Walden Street. That's what Sharp. Look, she lived right there on Walden Street, right there, two doors down. Right, as a matter of fact, next door to Shorty Low.
Oh really? So Carlos lived next. I didn't
Yeah,
back then. I wasn't paying no
ask
attention
her
to.
when you see her again. Tell her she would tell you they lived there because Shorty Low mother used to work for the school system. She was one of them ladies that cooked in the school.
Okay, okay.
You know, when they wore the damn white uniforms, where they looked like matronly type women back then.
Right, right.
Well, look, man, we
But yeah,
done took this all
we
off
don't took
topic.
the time.
She ain't. We ain't mean to,
We don't took,
take your topic off.
she from the West Side. Like I told him, I got much respect for the brother, even though he moved to the East Side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I,
It had to be
Yeah.
love to make him move to the East Side from the West Side. Lord have
Well,
mercy.
it was like a shock
but
because from the west side, it came from a situation where you talked about somebody mama, you were getting doubted in the eye, and I had to come over to the east side and just hear them like all day talk like that, and then the disrespect. And I used to tell them, I be like, hey man, you watch your mouth. And they
Right?
be like, who you think you is? They coming at me like, oh, you ain't
Yeah.
nobody. I'm like, we don't talk like that over where I'm from.
Nah.
I moved over there probably about middle school. So, it was
Oh,
a
okay.
shock for me. I had to
Oh,
calm my little attitude
you,
down because, they told me I had anger management issues. It's like, how you a kid with straight A's with anger management issues? I was like, bro,
hey
this
man.
my environment.
Hey man. You right about that. You talked about somebody, mama on my side of town. You finna get your head combed, bro. That brother finna comb your head, man.
you
Talk
you
about
know
somebody.
what? And that often happened. And motherfuckers be like, look, nigga, I'm gonna get you after school.
Yeah. And
Now
then
they
2 days later,
just go
y'all playing
straight at,
basketball.
you know.
2 days later, y'all playing basketball together. Ain't nobody dead. Ain't nobody got,
Man, let me
you know.
tell you something. Niggas used to want to beat me up because they thought I wanted their woman all the time.
Right,
See,
right.
I was in a group called the Original Preps, and I know y'all probably heard of them.
I've
They,
heard that.
like the Polo Boys, all them,
Yeah,
the dudes that dress nice, the Original
right,
Preps, they would be in Doug, they would be at Northside, all those
right.
kind of schools, and we would get
Yeah.
get the girls. So when we did come to the neighborhood like that, and we would, try to talk to the women, I mean, well, not
Hmm.
women at the time, girls, y'all niggas would try to beat us up.
Yeah, man. You can't. Listen, man. I learned that, man. Like, you can't go in people's neighborhoods trying to holler at their women, bro. Yeah, you got. If you do, you got to slide. Cause I don't got chased out of East Point, Decatur, uh, College Park. Yeah, over here trying to
let,
chase
let me
some
say
women.
this before let me say this before Alonzo get in. Man, let me tell you something. I have been shot at right off of Glenwood in 285.
Oh Lord.
I had you remember when the niggas used to wear the riding boots?
Yep.
I swam in the goddamn lake with the motherfuckers on. You hear me? I went under the water to keep from getting shot.
That ain't no joke there. What's up, fellas?
What's going
What's going
on,
on,
man?
man?
Going on, Lonzo?
I'm alright. I saw y'all was live and it was a panel, so I decided to come in. I don't know what I don't walked into. We talking about going into to enemy territory scouting ladies.
Well,
Man,
we getting back on it. We were just talking about the situation of married and single, but yeah, I mean it come back to what we was talking about with the men. A lot of guys, they were in situations to where, hey, the women weren't available to them. You had to go to other areas to get on women.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
The women over there in your neighborhood that fool with you. And see,
yeah,
that's
that,
what it is like that now.
yeah,
Oh yeah, but like Kwafi said, man, you gonna end up in the water in riding boots
yeah,
because a couple of them will let you go. But if we talk on things like you know, just women, there are men in these other areas too. Just like it was men in our neighborhoods.
Damn, did he go out?
Did I go out? Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you.
Oh yeah. So it's
Yeah.
men in these other neighborhoods too. So
Yeah.
in these
Somebody
other
was in the back.
countries.
You can come back up. Now somebody's in the back. I didn't see him. He can come back up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but hey, listen, we go to these other territories and it's dangerous, but at the end of the day, I'm noticing something for men, the cost of being single today seems to be a bit too high. And what I mean by that is, and I'll actually give a salute to the underrated darkness about this one, specifically with black men. Our health is something that we neglect, just as men naturally. And I had a homeboy who, over the past weekend, almost died.
Damn.
Single, technically single. He's in a relationship with a girl. It's his girlfriend. But I'm like, bro, that needs to be your wife. Why do I say this? Because the cost of being single would have cost him his life. Because he had a little chest pain. Oh, my chest hurt a little bit. My lungs, my lungs on my back are hurting. I don't know what's going on. Well, come to find out, she forced him to go to the hospital.
yeah.
This man had blood clots in his lungs.
Damn.
Doctor said if you would have waited a couple more days, that would have been the end of your story.
Mm.
Point blank, period. So when we look at the cost of, being single, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Shannon B, you the only one who listen to the saliva in my mouth. That's what that is. You be hungry all the
Hey,
time. You just think of food
hey,
when I be on. That's what it is.
hey, Shannon
You,
called it out. He got you. He got you.
I ain't even eating. He just be listening to the saliva too hard. I don't know if I got to add something on mic or something.
But
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
true.
though, man? Whatever you goddamn eating, it sure sound good.
I ain't eating nothing.
What you chewing gum or something? Cause
Oh yeah,
it
I'm
sound
chewing
like
gum.
it sound like he was eating on something.
I was like,
I'm like,
I was like, he got a good cup of coffee this morning and a bagel.
Oh, that would have been. Oh, he said coffee. You seasoned in New York. He got a good cup of coffee.
Hey, look, man, I'm well rounded. You know, I was raised part of my life in New York before Atlanta, but I'm originally from California.
Hey, there you go.
You
He
know,
always be
so
catching me though. He always be catching me. He said, "You got meatball sub."
hey, let me say this about the women in different areas. Now, even the women in different areas, when you go back to your neighborhood with your girlfriend that came from the bourgeoisie, guess what? The girls want to beat her up too. So it's just like the manosphere.
uh, yeah, they be trying to check on her like, yeah, who is she? Blah blah blah.
you,
Yeah, I
you
just
think she look
Wow.
good? She thinks she look good because she light skinned with long hair. Let
right.
us pull it. You know, you got
Mm.
that's a southern thing. You know, women just go through that. I don't know why, but it's always that. He think he's something. Her daddy is a doctor. Guess what? She gonna marry him. You know, that's when they want to be your girlfriend after that.
Right.
you know,
yeah,
he's like, yeah,
I
shit, you
mean,
had a chance, girl.
Last year.
even what Alonzo was talking about, man, like a lot of guys don't take care of themselves. Like Monday, I'm finna go get a health screening. My wife, she set it up for me to go get my physical for the year because she worked for the medical provider, so it gives her discount on her insurance when she do it as well. But at the
Right.
same time, it's like most of the time, if we don't, if the women or something don't tell no men, or a man is not that conscious about his health, he ain't worrying about going to the doctor. He just chilling.
Yeah, not as much. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what? But you know what though, fellas? I'm one of the men that's gonna take care of myself. And like the things we're talking about right now, this is a beautiful thing, you know, because for one, we know Lonzo always talk about insurance, but at the same time, we need to talk about health and hygiene. You know, what I'm saying I know us up here, we probably take good care of ourselves. We probably
Yeah.
know what to do, but a lot of men don't. You know,
Right.
they just don't, man. And then they end up later on. It's a certain type at a certain age you're supposed to do certain things.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
Or just know your body. Know your body.
some men are
You
so
know,
conditioned to working. You just so conditioned to working and running and chasing that check that we don't pay so much attention to our health. I mean, I got mine on the 31st. You know what I'm saying? I got my physical coming up. But yeah, a lot of times if you do have a wife or a girlfriend or somebody that cares about you, they will keep you on top of your game because women are more, they're more adapted to going to the doctor than a man is. You know what I'm saying? She gonna
yeah, a
go get
lot of
her
us
mammoth.
we be like, we don't want to know. We don't want to know what hey, I feel good. I ain't even gonna lie. Right now, I feel like schoolboy 19. I
Mm.
don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I know how to
Yeah,
take care of myself. And even when I go to the doctor, I be like, damn, I just spent this kind of money for them to tell me only thing I need is an ibuprofen.
yeah,
Yeah, but see what's worse is we also will fight and be like, you know what? I don't want to go because if I go, all they're gonna do is tell me something's wrong. And I'm guilty of it too. Oh, I don't want to go because every time I go, they tell me something wrong. Well, you better go find out that they tell you it's wrong now before they tell you you can't
yeah.
change it.
You wake up dead. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. I agree 100%. Fellas, I got to jump off and go ahead and talk to my daughter. I see her and her fiance. They just don't came down here for breakfast. She finna
Hey,
get
brother,
married.
when you get a chance, go back and look at this stream, and if it's okay with she, sub to me and Alonzo's channel.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm all about promoting.
Yeah,
Yes,
You know,
sir.
yeah.
I want to keep in touch, you know,
Yeah. Check me out
because when
too
I
on
do
Hand
start doing
Thursday.
lives, I want this same group right here.
Yeah, come check me out on Wind Down Wednesdays, man. She fell in there last night. We always have a good time, man. I got uh, another one called a chat with me and
I
Nick.
do forget.
I think Nick is in here now.
Now, see, boy, you be having people we ain't never even heard of, and the good thing about it, they from ATL.
Oh yeah, I'm a real one.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
know, I be
brother.
I be
Look,
all around these folks.
I
Yeah,
appreciate, you know, brother. You just don't know. I really do appreciate because I don't fuck with a whole bunch of niggas out here,
me either.
especially in the black manosphere, because they
Yeah,
ain't real. You know what I'm saying? I'm educated. I got my life together. You would look at me
yeah,
and say, "Damn, you know, he got his nose up," but that ain't me. I just like
right.
real folk that's talking
I,
about something that ain't clowning. We ain't fighting. We can have a
right,
conversation and respect each
right.
other's opinions. A lot of
Yeah,
these dudes can't do that.
hands from the gardening community and stuff.
Yeah, I'm from the garden community.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Yep.
Good to
man.
see that too. Cause
Yeah, I'm
only
liking that
thing I
gardening
do know is
community.
the
Y'all
truth.
got a strong community over there.
Yeah, we don't play
Hey,
no,
I'm
man.
about to get ready to get off anyway, cause you know about
Okay.
9 something this tea come on. You know, I got to
Yep.
get over there. You know, I'm one of the calls over there. So I got to,
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Normally I jump out there with she, but I'm gonna go here with my daughter,
Okay.
my soon-to-be son-in-law. They get married tomorrow.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I got to give him one more.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got to
congratulations.
put tuss on him one more time to make sure everything is everything. You know. Hey,
That's
Oh
what's
she.
yeah.
up, bro.
Hey, she. You know I feel naked up here, man. You know I couldn't bring that fire with me. And
hey man, where you at?
I'm in New Jersey right now.
Oh,
Hey, I just.
I got a partner. I can make a phone call for you.
Oh no, I got that poker with me though. Yeah.
I know y'all will keep that poke on you.
Yeah. I
hey,
had that poker,
Hey, listen,
hey,
man. You know I'm licensed to carry in 32 states.
man.
and
I'm
then
like, period.
he up in hey Alonzo up there in Connecticut. It ain't nothing but a drive down for you.
Yeah, you know, Michael from up here in Connecticut.
He,
Oh,
he's
okay,
up
yeah,
here in
yeah.
Bridgeport. He's a couple towns away from me. I actually been meaning to get up with him.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. I'm coming back up here the next month, the end of the month. I'm gonna try to catch up with him then. But I'm on some, some business right now. Yeah. But all right, y'all have a good one.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Nice meeting you.
Yep. All right. Later.
Hey,
Yeah, Sweet
She.
Thumb
So
was up.
uh, you said you going to another stream? Whose stream is that this morning?
Let's T with T. I dropped the link.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think I heard of her. I think I heard her. But
On
anyway,
later,
I
a
got to
little
get
bit
up and
later
get to
today,
work
y'all.
myself, man.
I have
I
a
think she
subject.
should go live.
Hmm?
Oh, you going? Oh, you going live? Okay, okay. You
No,
said
no,
you going live?
not
Okay.
yet. Not immediately. I got doctor's appointment in a little bit, but later today, probably around 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm gonna go live today because I have an article that I want to go over. Normally I would just put it out on a pre-record, but I want to discuss this because it's about our retirement. People in our age range, millennials, and I include millennials to be anyone 45 and under. Um, and the issues with retirement. One of the big things on retirement, and this is actually things about cost of being single and stuff too. Right now, something called FRA is full retirement age, is age 67, right? And then something called RMD, which is required minimum distributions, right? So what FRA means is that you're fully eligible to receive all 100% of your Social Security. RMD means required minimum distributions. What that means is that's the age with which any retirement account that you have, if you don't start taking a distribution from it, the federal government starts to tax you 50% on that money. Yes, 50%. So every dollar they take in 50 cents. So the RMD is only 3 years younger than, I'm sorry, full retirement age is only 3 years younger than RMD. What this means is that our retirement age is about to skyrocket. Nobody knows this, but in the year 2025, RMD, required minimum distribution, is going to be pushed to age 75. So what do we think that means for FRA, full retirement age? If right now it's only 3 years younger than RMD at 72, or I'm sorry, 5 years younger than RMD at 72, then that means that if it's 75, we're not going to be able to retire till at least 70.
Damn. You know what, man? This is great, and I will be there, and I will be taking notes. I'll be writing this one.
Yeah. Because and you know, even being single, and then I'll stop there. You know, Kevin Samuels used to say to people, "Do you have your $2.4 million for retirement?" $2.4 million for retirement is not nearly enough money for us, because the average cost of a house in America is $416,000. He said, "Oh my God, people really ain't making 75 like that." No, they're not. But believe it or not, Shannon, the age of mortality has been increased. So it used to be, right now, I think the average age is like 78 for males and 81 for women. So technically, we'll have 3 years of retirement to enjoy, according to the numbers. And these are statistics that they've been counting for hundreds of years. The insurance industry has already figured it out, which is why now if you buy life insurance, it will project out till your age 122, because they have in the next 30 years that the life expectancy is going to grow. The only reason I have experienced this is because I actually, when I first started in this business, did 2 things that people in this business can be in this business for their whole life, 60 years, and never do. One is I delivered a death check, and 2 is I delivered a endowment. An endowment is someone who outlived their whole life insurance policy.
Damn.
That actually happened.
My aunt did that in New York. Yeah, my aunt
Yeah.
from New York, from Queens, she did. So when she died, her family split up the damn money. She didn't have nothing left.
See?
Yeah.
And that's how that happens. So I'm gonna definitely be, like I said, probably 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying they paid $10,000 for a funeral, and that was it. And the son and daughter did away with all the money.
Oh no.
Yeah, and they broke.
That's harsh.
They got houses, but they broke. They got good jobs, but they broke.
That's the American dream, right?
Yeah, that's
What's up,
even
man?
like this guy on YouTube. I dropped Miss T link in the chat. I'll drop it again. And she about to go live probably about in a few minutes. No, she normally go between 9 and 9:30. But yeah, I know a dude, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
He actually got like over $100,000 when his mom passed. Him and his brothers, I think they got like, they had a policy they had to split 3 ways for about I think it was 500,000. So they ended up splitting the policy 3 ways. And he was like, man, he wished his mom would have had a will or something structured or a trust to break that money up, because he said he blew through that money so much on the first run. He was down to like the last couple of dollars. They went and bought a house, wasn't educated on the house, didn't get an inspection, got screwed over on the house, and ended up having to let the house go. So it was so many things. Like, that's why I was trying to, having that conversation too, because a lot of people, they have money but don't know what to do with it. And they just spend.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? And
Well, you know
just
what?
talking
I'm
about
gonna
this
blame.
over there we was just talking about this over on Israel Mills panel 2 or 3 days ago, and Tuesday, and I mentioned both of you. I mentioned Sheed and Alonzo. So we're probably gonna get together and do a stream.
I appreciate that. So one thing I want to say to both, and I'm glad that guy said that about that he wished his mother had the will or something, and I want to say this to you, Kwaufi, about your relatives. It's not their fault. Even though it isn't. It's actually the fault of the financial professional. Why do I say that? Because see, what you guys don't get is we have a deeper job than just selling you a policy, right? I got to educate you. I got to educate you to educate your kids, right? Now, what often happen is, hey, listen, I got my commission. I ain't got time to chase this person and teach them to do the right thing, because it does get daunting, and there's no pay in teaching you how to do the right thing unless you come back to become a repeat customer, right? But that's why you'll always hear me talk about things like, hey, you got to get an estate planning attorney. Just because I sold you life insurance, that's not the end of it, right? Then there's also education on it. There's things like the spendthrift clause. There's all these different laws and rules and regulations that, to be honest, half of the people in my business don't know. But, you know, they get the license, and, you know, legally they are, you know, a financial professional. Unfortunately, just like with many doctors, you become a number to them, right? Just like we're talking about the health, especially with, you know, mocha folks like us, we kind of just go to the doctor. One of my doctors said something that was funny, because I have a high blood pressure issue. And he was like, well, then why do they just keep giving you a stronger, higher dose of a medicine that doesn't work? He said, this is my issue with these doctors. They think that all black people just naturally have high blood pressure. I'm going to do this test and check for a secondary issue, because you might probably have a thyroid issue, which is causing your blood pressure to rise. Because I'll be in the hospital, my blood pressure, bro, I just took my blood pressure, was 200 over something. Just before I got on here.
And the
Man,
crazy part is
rough.
you're thin dude.
I know.
Man.
Yes. Yeah, I'm actually going to the cardiologist at 10:30 today.
And I love the fact that, man, we still young and we're talking about, you know, health. You know, it's I guess we at the age where we talk about health, you know. You know, it is important, you know. Wow. But like you were saying too, and I know you got to go, Sheik, but like you were saying too, when I look at black families, I always reference back to A Raisin in the Sun. Except it wasn't about insurance policies and money and wills. I even look at the situation with Aretha Franklin, and when that came about, like, damn, even Alonzo could have got that account and, you know, worked on that. You know, see, but the problem is what you said earlier. You don't make money off educating the kids. However, if you did have a service doing that, you would damn near have to be Susie Orman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they'll go to the person if it's Susie Orman.
Yeah.
You know, but we gonna change that.
They'll go to. Oh, we're gonna change that. Well, conversations like this are part of what changes that, right? And even like you said, now we're at the age where we're talking about health. Let me tell you, I'm a AASRFM, right? I don't know if you know, you know, right? And in my fellow craft, I was 27 when I joined, and one of my line brothers, like I said, I belong to the oldest fraternity in the world. One of my line brothers approached me. He was 43. I was 27. And he asked me a question that makes so much sense today, but made no sense to me then. And he said, do guys your age talk to each other about things like retirement or your health? I was like, bro, I'm 27. I ain't worried about retirement, bro. I got all these years. Now I'm 40. I'm like, hold on, that was 13 years went by real fast. You know? So these conversations that we're having, especially because they're evergreen, I just hope and pray to God that, you know, some 13-year-old boy hears this and realizes, whoa, I ain't got time. Hey, you Grow, how's it going? You know, I hope some 13-year-old boy hears this and realizes, man, I don't have time to have fun while I'm 13 to 26. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my health and wealth right while I'm 13 to 26. And when I'm 40, I'll still look like I'm 26. No, my homeboys who was balling, well, they reached their apex in high school, and now they're bums. But yet I get to enjoy the rest of life. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know what, Alonzo? I go through that right now. When I go and I see certain people, I like, damn, I don't recognize them. And then they say to me, whose son are you? And I'm like, no, man, I went to school with you. It's crazy. One
Wow.
dude, I can't wait to get the other dude back on the panel again when we talk again. One dude in particular was a dude who was supposed to be a comedian. He was on his way. His name was Kirby Rowe, and he had the name for it too, from Atlanta. And I saw him, and he said, "Sir, you have any change?" When I saw him, man, I knew the face because it was a funny face, but at the same time, he was so unrecognizable. His skin was like elephant skin, and dried up and wrinkled up like an old man, and it was just awful, man. At 20 something, that was crazy. And I gave him $20, because I'm like,
Wow, man.
me and you went to elementary school together, bro, and part of high school. Like,
Same
damn,
situation happened to one of my best friends. Everybody telling me, man, your boy, he living on the street. I said, what happened? Because I knew when we was in high school, he got a hold of some bad weed. And the crazy part is that's what kind of put me in a situation to even, stop messing around smoking and stuff when I was younger in high school, because I was on the way to practice. He called me, man, let's go hang out, kick it. I said, man, we gotta go to practice, man. We're trying to win state, this and that. So he's like, man, just for a little bit, then we're gonna go to practice. I said, cool. My coach caught me heading out the door with him, and he kept going. My coach was like, boy, get over here. He's like, where you going? I said, man, I'm gonna go get my clothes from the house. He's like, man, just come on. We got clothes upstairs. He saved me because they went and got some bad weed. Dude been messed up ever since. I seen this dude on Glenwood, and he was at the Wendy's right there. So I went straight to him. Nick, like, what's going on, man? He remember me every time. I talk to everybody else. He don't remember nobody. He don't really talk to nobody. He always remember my face. He always said, Rashid, I know it's you. I give him money. I talk to him. I don't give him like a lot of money because I know he's gonna just buy drugs with it. But I go buy him some food. I give him about $5, get him something to drink, go buy him some water. We sit there and talk for, just about a minute if I ain't running around. But it just, man, the situation, man, like all it takes is one bad turn and hey, it's over.
Listen, man, my mother is only 17 years older than me. Right? I'm 40, she's 57. When I moved back here to Connecticut from New York, I was in the downtown area walking with me, my wife, and my mother. I see this dude come up. Hey, man, you got some change? I look at him. Now, he don't look exactly like, some people's face don't never really change. But teeth missing, looking horrible. And I'm like, hold on. Is that, I just call him PJ. That PJ? Yeah, man, nah, they don't call me that no more, man. My name's such and such. Oh, all right, that's cool. And I gave him $1. Oh man, good to see you. I hope you stay good. My mother was like, why are you talking to that man that your uncle went to school with? I was like, no, my uncle is 10 years older than my mother. She thought that was a man that went to high school with my uncle.
damn.
That's how bad he looked. Okay. And believe it or not, the guy's
Yeah.
probably 2 to 3 years younger than me. But I say all that again to say this, especially black men. Like I just said, my blood pressure is at that 200. Did you hear the reaction that Kwafi gave me? Alonzo. That was disappointment in me because I need to do what I got to do to get my health right. And this is how we're going to hold each other accountable. Because I'm glad that was disappointment. It's like, bro, you got to be healthy. We need you here to teach us this. If you ain't alive and you ain't teaching us this, who's going to teach you? Right? So now that disappointment drives me further to go, yo, I've got a community of people who care about me, actually, who it's now my obligation to make sure that I'm right, so that I make sure that we all right. And you know, it's just people start getting their life together at 40 nowadays.
Hey, Shannon, I said the same thing. I said, man, I don't want to be that guy talking about I'm getting my life together at 40, even at 50, 60. I want to,
Mhm.
tweak some things, maintain, fix, or adjust, but not starting all over again, trying to figure out what I want to do. Even the sense of being married with most people. You at the point of your life, April Shower said it best the other day on Miss T channel. She said, I'm at a point in my life, old as I am, I'm not changing for nobody. When you get to 40, 50 years old, you're not trying to change. You set everything set in stone for you. You might adjust some things just for convenience, but for the most part, you're not changing.
Yeah, 40, you are what you are, or you've developed to become what you are. Um, but I think that's also goes to the habits and conversations like this. And thank you so much for having these, She, are what bring us to the point where we're like, nah, you know what? I can't accept the mediocrity. You know what? I got to do right by me. You know what? I got to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And then this, like I said, this message will get to that 13-year-old boy. I ain't even worried about the 23-year-old right now. I'm worried about the 13-year-old. I'm worried about that boy who's 10, who's looking at the environment, and everybody around him is looking up to the internet kicked him off. I was about to say, what happened to Quavi? But I want that 13-year-old boy, that 10-year-old boy who's trying to figure out, what do I look up to be a man, right? Because what's that? And this is something that, and I had this conversation with my mother, and I had to bring that point out. And I think this is something that we don't realize in the Black community. And I'm gonna lay this at the feet. Unfortunately, I can't lay it at the feet of anybody but women. This one, and my mother said it too. She was like, you know what? That's very funny. Ever since a child, people have always accused you of being mannish, right? Oh, that little boy, he getting mannish. Well, that's what a boy is supposed to do. He's supposed to get mannish and have man tendencies and speak with authority like a man. And I've been that way since I was a child. Everybody has always called me little man, not just, hey, little man, but they were like, why are you acting like a grown ass man? And often that type of stuff in the Black community, women try to stomp that out. He's trying to get mannish. He's smelling his nuts. Well, now what I basically told her was, because I have a cat, and I said, yes, my cat is getting mannish. So now I'm going to go and I have to have him fixed. And that's what happens in our community. When a boy gets mannish, we tend to try to stomp that out. Now, one other thing that I've noticed, and this is the detriment of Black men, and we got to correct this. No other community or ethnic group, mostly on the planet, covets their mother over the father, except for us here in the States. What you say about my mama? My mama, my mama. Everybody else is a daddy's boy or a daddy's girl. Now, mama's boys get ostracized. But if you look everywhere, everyone praises their father. So as men, we have to realize we have a responsibility. If we want that power, if we want those power parties, we got to create those families. And I don't mean broken families like Nick Cannon, because he's got a bunch of money and is running around sleeping with different women and got women in all these different households. If you want to talk about people like King Solomon, they were all in a compound, because those relatives need to have that familial bond too. But I know Miss T about to get going live, and you probably about to shut down, so I'll stop there.
Yeah, man. The conversation was good. We got into a lot of, variations, but at the same time, hey, when it comes down to family, money, the choice is yours. Like I say, a lot of women want to get married. They gotta choose a suitable mate. They gotta sit here and have that understanding when it comes down to it. You want the fame and the fortune, the so-called riches and goals, the glamour, or do you want to be in a committed relationship with somebody that truly loves you? Because we have our issues and we look at the money. Money can be made, but at the same time, you know, to a point, you can have all that money, and if that person truly don't love you, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna cheat. 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna be, trustworthy. But the point of it is, you get what you ask for. And a lot of us, we tend to not like our options or things, but we put ourselves in that, living society standards. We gotta cope with the consequences and everything that follows behind it. So overall, picking the mate is up to you, but at the same time, hey, everything's in choice matter. Same thing for men. If you want the IG model, you got to accept the divorce. You got to accept everything that comes with that IG model because she's following the trend of a stereotypical, you know, trend that a lot of these women are following or dudes are doing, their trend of getting the baddest chick. So on both ends, they're at the same odds. Being single, being married, it's a choice. Any person you deal with, abusive or not, is always a choice. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, but y'all know what I always say: we here and we gone.